Hey, how are ya? Noxis Flak here, and this is my second news video, and I want to talk about what's been on everyone's mind since it originally announced in May 2012. Sword hand! And yes, I know it has been delayed again. That is not what this video is about. I don't even want to say the latest delay date, as it could change down the road and make my video outdated. But as I said, this video is not talking about the delays. I would instead like to discuss some of my concerns and hopes about this game whenever it is in fact released. I can still remember my roommate Fakewaga telling me to get The Witcher 3. And I had never played a CD Projekt Red game before. I had briefly heard of them from time to time. But at the time, 2018, I was working full time. I was getting my master's after work. I didn't really have the time for a game like this. But I could tell that he was into this game. And so I waited for a sale, and thank goodness I waited, because if I got this game while I was trying to work full time and get my master's degree, that would have been a big problem. I probably would have done both and just not slept. Yeah, I don't know what else to say besides this game went straight to one of my favorite games of all time. It is either my favorite game of all time or my second favorite game of all time, only because when I was 6 years old and got a Game Boy and Pokemon, that was life-changing for me. And this game changed how I viewed video games forever, which creates a problem for the next game a developer like this is gonna make. So let's start with the positives and what we're all excited for. Not just me, everyone's excited for in 2077. I mean, just look at it all. This is what we get to expect. Presumably even cleaner in 2077. I think that most of the fans can agree that it was the level of effort put into every little detail of this game that made The Witcher 3 what had us all head over heels in love with it. This was a game where side quests had like enough thought and effort put in that you could spend 30 to 40 minutes on one. It wasn't just extra quote-unquote content to fill time so the developers could say it was actually a 100-hour game when only 30 hours of it was actually engaging. I mean, I went from helping a married couple that was deceased and helping them through their arguing even through death, to stumbling upon an abandoned haunted house and spending 30 minutes discovering the whole story of how the house became abandoned and haunted. And this was such a game-changing part of this, because now I go into a new game and I expect the side quests to be The Witcher 3 quality, which to a certain extent ruined other games for me. And not to mention that the main story was so engaging and well done. And let's admit it, I mean, there's so many larger, better funded developers out there that don't even do a good of a job at a main story, let alone the side quests. And this is what I want. It's certainly what everyone wants from Cyberpunk 2077.
Whoa there, Roach.
This leads me to my worries and concerns about Cyberpunk 2077. It's this question. What was better or more impactful for The Witcher 3? The books and the lore already created before the game, or the developers themselves? Or hopefully, both. What if the world of Cyberpunk 2077 is just less interesting and engaging than the world of The Witcher? What if the monsters we had never heard of before or seen ever in the Witcher world was what made the Witcher world so much more interesting than just another game that shows us futuristic tech? I mean, plenty of games have shown us that. What if the developers are good, but the story is simply not as engaging as the Witcher story? I know I've been listening to the Witcher books on my commute to and from work, and they are really good. At least I enjoy them. I don't know, and honestly, I'm afraid to guess what the truth is. I'm not bothered by the delay, and we'll be happier with a great game later than a bad game now, but I want a game that felt life-changing like The Witcher 3, not just another good game. And these high hopes themselves could be the problem. Tell me, what do you think in the comments? Even with these concerns, I am very excited for the game. I imagine it will be a good game, and my complaints would be more like, but it wasn't as good as The Witcher 3. It's probably the worst thing that could happen. And I'd like to hear what you have to think about this too. This has been Noxis Flak News. I am Noxis Flak. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you really disliked it, please tell me why so I can make it better. And if you want to see more, why not subscribe? I'll see you in the next one, and maybe by then we'll know when this game actually releases.